Hey, what's up, you guys? All right, so Will Clemente just tweeted out this. He says, just so you were aware, and he's got this image that he posted. And a lot of people, as usual, whenever he posts something like this, you need a lot of context to understand this. A lot of people in the tweets that are asking, what is this? What does that mean? Probably people don't even know where to get this graph. So I wanted to make a quick video to talk a little bit about the context around this chart that he just posted. So let's take a look at it. Your first clue as to like where he's getting this, and I really encourage you to stop and try to recreate this graph yourself. So you can see here he's getting this from Coinalize, and believe it or not, this is free. This is not something you have to pay like for Glassnode or anything like that for, but you can see here created on coinalize.net. So let's begin with that. All right, you guys. So here I've pulled up, coinalize.net. And so the first thing you want to take a look at is here you can see these got charts for Bitcoin, they've got charts for Ethereum, etc. So obviously if you go back to his chart, it's for Bitcoin, and in particular he's looking at the prices or the data from Binance. So let's look for that. Here under Bitcoin, you can see there's different exchanges. We don't see Binance, but if we click Show All, we indeed do see Binance. Let's see here, right here. Now, in particular, you can see it's not just Bitcoin, it's Binance. It's the data from Binance for Bitcoin USD and perps. So let's see here. Let's see if we can find that on here. There's BTC, USD, perp, Binance. That looks pretty promising. So you click there and you get a graph. Now, next thing to pay attention to is if you look at the default price range. Oh, let me say okay here. Look at the default price range. It goes back to January 5th. So this is just like basically one day. It's got the 5-minute candles displayed, so it doesn't go back very far. If I zoom out, that takes us back to just December 31st. If you look carefully at his graph, and actually he's going back to January 5th. And the reason he highlighted this range is because that's when the big drop on December 4th happened for Bitcoin, right here. That's when this whole mess started for the recent bearish era or bearish time. So let's go back, and I'll just show you that. I mean, if you're not familiar, I guess I'm going to try to really break it down for you. Here's the chart of Bitcoin, and what I mean is here, December 4th, you had this huge drop from here to here. It's like 26% down to the wick, and then actually just while we're at it, we're actually down to what is it, 25% from that point. I believe we're 60% from the all-time high. Let's see, is that, yeah, it's right here. Something like, no, excuse me, I'm sorry. We're down 37%. The reason I said where I'm getting 60% from is we're down 37% from the all-time high. So we're down 37%. But if you measure up from where we are to get back to the all-time high, we have to move up 60%. I'm sorry, that's where I got the 60% number. So anyway, this is a little tangent just to kind of put everything in perspective, how much damage has been done to Bitcoin. Anyways, okay, back to the chart. Let me see, where was I? So yeah, we were just getting the time frame on his scale. He goes like, oh yeah. So I was just mentioning this is why he has the scale going back to the time frame going back to December 5th, or it shows a 5 here. It goes a little bit before December 5th because he wanted to capture this data including that dip from December 4th. So that's why he's got this time range. Now, let's continue. Um, so here I'm only going back to December 31st. So we got to go to bigger candles. Let's try, well, let's go incrementally, 15 minutes. Zoom out. Takes us back to December 21st. Okay, let's now go back to 30 minutes. Does that get us where we want to go? That takes us back to December 6th. We're close. We want to go even further back than December 6th, right? Like his graph, there's the 5 here, that's December 5th. So we want to go back even further than that. So let's finally bump it up again to 1 hour. And there we go. Now we're looking at November 5th, and there's the dip on December 4th. So now let's zoom in to get the same range as him. So there we see the December 4th dip, and then, interesting price action, the Christmas pump, um, right here, Christmas rally. Some people call this a double top, and then it descended down to where we're at here. And then here's the drop today. Okay, so there's your context. Now, let's go to his graph. This does not look like his, right? I mean, here, right? This is the price of Bitcoin. It's basically going down, and his graph is basically going up, right? So it has the drop, right? But then it continues in. It's because this is not measuring the necessarily like the, it's not measuring the price of, it's not indicating the price of Bitcoin. It's measuring open interest. So how do you get that graph on the screen? Well, once you're here, you go to indicators. You go to indicators, and let's see here. Let's look for, right, what does it say on here? Aggregated open interest stablecoin marginated contracts. So let's see, aggregated open interest stablecoin marginated contracts. That matches up. There you go. So click that, and it adds the indicator to the screen. All right. Now to really make it look like his, let's remove the Bitcoin price. This one here, that's like the reggae colors, buy sell volume. Let's squeeze that out of the way. And oh ho ho, what do we have here? That what's up? That looks just like his. And that's where he gets his graph from. So I just want to explain that. Now, if you want to get into what this data means, how it, how it plays a role in being an indicator, you're going to have to start doing some reading and research. Let's see here. So if you're a beginner to this and trying to understand, what open interest is, I really recommend if you Google open interest, you're going to see this article from Investopedia, and it does a pretty good job. And I mean, it really gets into some of the background information that you're going to need. So I recommend starting with that, and if you poke around the site, it actually links around to a few different articles. There's even a little video here you can play, but I'm not going to go through all that for you. I just wanted to mostly focus on where is he getting this data from and how you can get it yourself. This is not hard to do. Finally, let's get to the interpretation of the graph. Now, you've seen maybe TXMC, you've seen Will, you've seen Ben, you've seen others say we might have some more price downside action. And here, one of the ways that people are interpreting this is when the December 4th crash happened for Bitcoin, the open interest dropped, right? A lot of liquidations happened. It got basically flushed a lot of people out. So we had the drop. Well, stubborn people, here we go. Open interest starts increasing again. And what Will was saying in his tweet, hang on a second, he says right here, in fact, he annotates his graph. He says, today's wipeout, the open interest that's still built up from the last month. So what he's basically saying is after this crash, open interest, these people said, I don't care. Let's go back in. This is what this increase. This is what he's talking about. The open interest built up, all last month. Jumped up a little further, and this baby little correction that got flushed out resulted in the dip that we saw today. What he's trying to say is, look, people, what happens when all of this shit gets flushed out? What happens when all of this, this is even bigger than this one? I mean, look at this drop right here. That's like a 20% drop. If we go from here and we flush out to where we were before, that's a 31% drop in this data right here. So he's basically saying, look out. I mean, you can't count on that. You can't say for sure, but it's just an interpretation of the data. There's a lot of other factors that affect this. So please don't go bet the farm on the fact, don't go short Bitcoin or anything like that. I'm not telling you what to do. I'm just giving you data. I'm explaining to you what Will was trying to say there. You need to pay attention to the macroeconomic indicators. You need to pay attention to what's going on in Kazakhstan. You need to pay attention to, a lot of what happened today was a result of the releasing of the Federal Reserve minutes. You need to stay on top of that. You need to stay on top of what's going to come out of the Federal Reserve tapering decisions, the rate at which they're going to taper. You got to keep an eye on all that. So don't just look at this one thing. This is just one metric. Okay, guys. All right. Stay safe. Protect your wealth. Yeah. Good luck, guys. Bye.